Alright, what's up, my loves? Hope everybody's doing good. I am going live again. Here we go. I'm going live again so that I can make sure I get this video on both, because y'all, this shit be giving me the blues when I try to upload these long videos sometimes. Okay. But yeah, so I'm here to do a reading for you guys. I want to do a reading for people who are starseeds that may be going through your stage that I like to call the Great Severing. Okay, this is a stage where if you are a starseed, we all have to go through it. We're born into certain situations. We're born around certain people. We're introduced to certain people and energies within our childhood. But as we grow, as we change, as we evolve, as we learn the truth about who we really are and, you know, what our life path is, at that point in time, most times you end up in this situation where you have to do this big separation, right? It may look a little different for everybody. For me in particular, I know that I went through a couple of those severing stages because the way my karmic energy or my karmic cycles were set up, you know, I came, you know, from one situation and went into another. And so both of those, you know, when they came to an ending, it was a it was a hard ending, man. Like, and literally not just hard for me, but it was like overnight things were just like switched around and changed, right? So for example, my first great severing act was with my folks, my parents. I can remember at the time I was dating the guy who I ended up marrying before. And today is another one of those days, y'all, where I'm just gonna kind of talk and shuffle. It's more about the conversation than it is about the actual cards today, but we're gonna use cards to confirm. But yeah, I was with him. We had just started, we had recently started dating, right? And we were going on this trip to go meet his family, because a lot of his family at the time lived out of town. They lived in a different state. So I feel like it was a holiday or something too. But anyway, we were going, and, you know, his mom was riding with us. We were staying at his aunt's house and all of that. It was just supposed to be a good, innocent time, right? But when I told my folks, my parents, that I was, you know, going to be gone that weekend, and at this point in time, y'all, like, I'm probably, I say maybe like 24, 25. So I'm fairly grown, right? Had my daughter, and y'all excuse the noise. When I tell y'all I have waited all day to try to record this reading because of that noise or whatever they're doing next door. But it's like they're off and on with it, and I just couldn't, you know, stop or wait or hold up the process any longer. But sorry about that. But yeah, so but I'm still at home, my people, right? So out of courtesy, so they don't send out a search party warrant for me, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be gone this weekend. I tell them where I'm going. Boom. So I get these text messages back. Well, first of all, when I told my mama where I was going, my mama was like, no, you're not. I laughed. I really laughed, because it was just kind of like, I don't know, she thought I was asking for permission or what, but it was like everything was already planned. And then it's like, it wasn't that type of trip, right? So my people, if y'all have been following and watching, then you know, like, I come from religious background, right? Everybody in church, everybody deep in that thing. So the type of church I come from, they cared a lot about the image, right? So everything that was said to me, you know, after the fact, because when I first of all, when she said, no, you're not, I didn't respond. Me being me, I didn't respond. So I guess she got mad and she texted my dad, and my dad texted me, and he come with this whole, well, your granddad is a pastor, and this, and what is it gonna look like, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no text back. Cause at this point, it is what it is. Like, we really making a big deal out of nothing. And which is, this is the history of the people I come from. This is what we do, right? So don't send nothing back to either one of them. And then later on that evening, it's like, okay, I get another text while I'm at work still. And it's like, well, whenever you get home, we want to talk to you. I'm like, okay, cool. So I get home probably like 11 something at night. And I walk in their room and I'm standing in the doorway. And my mama was sitting up. My daddy was laying down in the bed. And so I was standing there for a minute and nobody said anything. And I'm like, you rang? Like, what's up? Y'all wanted to talk? What is it? So my mama nudges my daddy in the bed and was like, tell her what we said. Now, when she said that, let me tell y'all gonna learn more about my story, but off tippity, I knew it was gonna be a mess. I knew it was gonna be a fool. Cause just the way she said it, like, tell her what we said, like, why can't you talk? Like, she was trying to make it come through him. Like, I already knew off top it was gonna be a fool. So my daddy take this long, drawn out, deep breath, like he just didn't know the words to say. And he was like, well, if you just gonna keep, you know, doing what you want to do, disrespecting our house, blah, 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 talking about stuff that didn't have nothing to do with the decision that I was making at that time, right? Then if you decide to go out of town, when you get back, you got to find somewhere else to go, right? Just like that. So, mind you, as a starseed, we are people a lot of times, you know, who are emotionally manipulated. We are the type of people that, you know, when you're around narcissistic people or people who have those tendencies, they can, you know, easily spot the empath within you and then begin to start to try to manipulate that, control that, right? So at this point in time, like where I was, there had been so much back and forth. There had been so much craziness going on. There had been so many words exchanged. Like, the narcissism had just gone to like levels that were unbearable. And another reason why I say, you know, when she said, tell her what we said, how I knew it was going to be some mess, is because every time there was some sort of important conversation or whatever that had to be, you know, that was going on, something that had to be squashed out, changed, switched up, whatever, my daddy always had to be the mediator between me and my mama. Because it was just never, there was never any respect for my thoughts. Right? Now, I didn't have a choice but to respect the people's thoughts, because the way I was raised, like, you don't be disrespectful, you know, to anybody, but especially not your parents, your folks, right? But I didn't get that same respect. I don't care how old I was. Like, as children, for sure, it was like, oh, definitely, you don't deserve to have that respect, whatever kind of crazy thinking it is. But even as an adult, it was never like, okay, let me hear you out. Let me just, you know, none of that. So with, you know, him always being kind of like the voice of reason with most things, when that started happening, I was like, okay, I knew at that point that it wasn't going to be long anyway, that something was coming. And mind you, I had never been away from home aside from going to college. Like, I was very, very sheltered. I was there. I was not comfortable, but I was comfortable, right? This was life for me. So it was very few times that it had gotten so bad or to the point to where I was like, I'm really about to dip, you know, but it happened. And every time it would happen, my mama would do the little manipulative thing to be like, well, if you leave, you're leaving, you're covering, you know, you're not covered by God and you're going to die and blah, blah, blah. Like it was crazy, y'all, the type of mental manipulation, emotional manipulation, all of that, spiritual manipulation, right? But this time around, it was like, you know what? I don't got time for this. Like, this is getting to the point to where it's really ridiculous, right? It was so back and forth when I would say, okay, if I have to leave in order to be able to make my own decisions or to think for myself or for my voice to matter, then cool, I'll do that. I ain't never been nowhere. If I got to struggle to do whatever, I'll do it, right? But that constant back and forth, right? Like y'all be in these toxic relationships with men, women, whatever. Like it's always this, well, I don't want to be with you and blah, 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 blah. But 2 days later, y'all right back in each other's face. And here's the reason why I don't play these games, right? Because when it came down to it and it was like, yo, like you really telling me that I got to make a choice between doing what's right for me, doing what I know feels natural to me for me, or to put all that aside and do what you want me to do. We can't keep doing it, right? We can't keep doing it. So they say what they had to say, and I said, is that all? And I was like, yeah. I said, okay. So mind you, I had to, at that time, I was working somewhere where I was working a couple places, but I was working at this summer camp, and I had to be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning for the before care. So I had been there that same morning, you know. So like I said, this was after 11. We talking, I've been up all day working, going back and forth. So at that point, I was like, I'm tired. I can't think about it. I ain't got no answer for y'all. It is what it is. I went and got the rest of my clothes out of the dryer that I was washing. I put it in my suitcase and I laid down. And when I got up, guess what I did? I confirmed my trip with everybody that I was going with to make sure that we was leaving at the same time we said we was leaving, and did what I had to do, and I let the rest of it worry about what it was going to be. Because the thing about my folks, I never disbelieved them, right? Some of y'all had parents to where it was like, oh, you sneak out, you do this, you do whatever. And even if you get caught, you know, the maximum was like being grounded for a certain amount of time or whatever. But I didn't, you know, I don't know. It was just different for me. I didn't play with my folks like that. Hold on, y'all. I didn't play with my people like that. So anything that they told me that they would do as like a repercussion for whatever it was I was doing or wasn't doing, I believed them. So even when I continued to go forth and like pack my bag and, you know, go on about my way, I knew that when I got back in town, I wasn't going to have nowhere to be. So I had already made arrangements for all of that, right? But here's the thing. Even though I tapped into this level of strength that allowed me to make this decision, as I stated before, this was hard. Right? This was really, it was difficult. It was like one of those things to where everything that is completely familiar to you is just switched or snatched away from you overnight. So that's what that was for me and for most people, right? And even me leading up until that moment. Up until then, there would be so much that I would put up with, that I would take, you know, so many ways that I would dim my light to be the people pleaser or to stay in this situation. But honey, when it came down to it and when Spirit was really urging me that this is the time, this is not a drill, these people are giving you an ultimatum to choose you, and which choosing you means choosing God, right? Or to choose their way of life, their way of living, doing things the way that they tell you to do. And when it came down to it and I had to make that choice, when Spirit was urging me, because I'm telling y'all, the one thing that I've noticed about every one of my times when I found myself in this place in my karmic cycle, right, is when it got to the point to where it was really time to like shift and switch cycles, it had gotten so ghetto, y'all. Like You know, and I walk with me, because again, I'm telling this story for a reason and to relate back to whoever is watching this. For the majority of us starseeds, we are strong enough to deal with these things, right? Because as a starseed, the first goer, you are a person that is put in place to lead and to help others into this unknown and unfamiliar territory that most of us are afraid to venture to. So, because of that, we know how to deal with every type of energy, right? We know how to deal with every type of energy. The willing energies, the unwilling energies, the narcissistic energies, the super positive energies, the sensitive energies. We know how to deal with them all. But sometimes, because we know how to deal with all of these energies, what happens is we begin to take them on. We begin to make these our problem. Instead of pulling these energies out of their problems, we get pulled into their problems. Right? So for every karmic situation that you could have found yourself in, any karmic situation that I found myself in, there was this weird codependent angle that was always present that made me feel as though, right? Made me feel as though, you know, me withdrawing my energy or my presence from a situation would be like worst case scenario. Like, instead of, as a person is treating me like a punching bag, right? Boom, 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 boom. I'm taking the hits. I'm like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Still going. I'm strong. And the simple solution is to be like, yo, I'm walking away. I'm not going to come to this gym anymore. You're not going to keep punching me like a punching bag. But instead, the way that our minds are wired, we begin to tap into their energy. Forget the pain that we're in. What type of pain is it going to cause you if I leave? What type of issues is it going to cause if I remove my energy from the situation? What types of imbalances are going to come about if I'm not here to take care of this, deal with this, handle this? And the longer we stay in that position, the more reasons we find to keep ourselves bonded and tied to this karmic energy, this karmic situation, right? And the longer we stay bound and tied to this karmic energy, this karmic situation, the dimmer our light becomes. The less effective we become as a starseed, as a person who is supposed to be a healer, you know, and to help people out of these energies. So, saying all that to say, 9 times out of 10, and I say 9 times only because we have the power of free will, but 9 times out of 10, Spirit is not going to allow you to peacefully stay in these karmic situations. Okay? It's not going to happen. And for a lot of you, if you're watching this video, you may be at a place and time in your life to where you're getting to that point to where it's harder for you to stay connected to these situations. Or not even just harder. Maybe some of you are at the point now to where it's like, it's action time. It's time for you to literally like walk away. And it probably feels like one of the scariest things that you've ever experienced in your life. I understand. I get it. I get it. Some of you feel as though you don't have enough strength on your own to operate without being connected to this person or this situation. Some of you may just be so worried and fearful of what's to come. And that's keeping you in the position of being like, man, I just don't know. I just don't know. But I really, 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 really want to encourage you today to free yourself to free yourself. Okay? No matter what type of karmic situation you may find yourself in, whether this is a romantic relationship, whether this is a family situation, whether these are friends, whether this is a job, I don't care what it is. Even for some of y'all, y'all are karmically tied to churches and religious organizations that are no longer serving who God has created you to be. And you're being asked to let go of it. I am here to encourage you that you can do this. Okay? You can do this. And I also want you to know that as long as you stay in these situations, you'll never reach your full potential as a person, as an individual, as a creation of God. And I know it sounds a little harsh to say, and even for me, I don't ever like to tell anybody that they can't or won't do, be, whatever. But this is a cold hard fact, right? Like, this is almost science at this point. These karmic relationships and situations are only in place to teach you something, to teach you some things. This is not meant to be your destiny. This is not where you're going to die. Unless you choose to be there. Okay? And I want you to understand that, you know, you may not have ever heard the word karmic in your life, right? What do you mean by karmic? Any situation that has you constantly compromising who you are, that causes you to feel as though your voice is not important or heard. Any situation that causes you to think less of yourself. Any situation that makes you feel as though you're not growing or, you know, succeeding. Any situation to where you're feeling as though, you know, well, if I continue to move or do this or do that, then I'm going to leave this person behind, and I can't do that. I can't do that. They're depending on me. Any situation that keeps you bound and tied to certain addictions or things that you really know that you need to let go of, or things that you've been trying to let go of. These are all what we consider and call karmic situations. Because yes, again, sometimes it's a little hard to feel as though, you know, this is something that you're supposed to live without, because a lot of times we're born into this. Literally born into this. We're born into it. And like for me, like I said, one of my biggest karmic connections was my family. And I can't count the amount of nights that I found myself just shedding tears, just praying to God, like, why can't I have my family and still be me? That was the latter part. Like, I could have my family, but I could only be around my family and be in good connection with my family when I was a certain way. When I was the way that they thought I should be. But when I got to the point to where spirit was urging me that this was not me, there's something different, there's more for you. And even in that, it wasn't like, you know, once I realized that there was more, it's like, oh, well, F you, family. Like I talked about before, like this was like a, come on, everybody, let's go. Let's get it together. Like I'm thinking everybody was here with me. But the brighter I shone, like the more ideas I had, the more creative I became, the more it made people mad, the more there was this friction, which eventually led to the severing, okay? I want y'all to know something. I know it's fashionable for people to say, Oh, I'm a loner. I don't run with people. I don't like. But y'all, I'm not playing when I say that. I used to envy people who had the luxury of being able to, call their mothers on the phone and sit around and hee hee ha ha, or go to lunch and hang out, or just go to their mama house and just be laid all up in her bed and taking her stuff and all. I used to really feel a way about that, but you want to know why? Because I never had it. Still don't have it. But now, the difference between then and now is, now I understand why. But that earthly part of me, which is where the majority of us, until you realize how spiritual of a being you are, most of the time you're going to be operating heavily in your natural man. So that means things like that, things that make sense to us, like certain relationships and connections. When we don't have it, we feel as though there is a lack or a void. And furthermore, not just beyond not having it, because you have the group of people to where it's like, okay, y'all never even had the option because of X, Y, and Z. Mama just wasn't there, daddy just wasn't there. I ain't never had no family. I was an orphan, whatever. But then there's a whole different type of situation when you talk about having somebody physically in person there. But then getting to a point to realize that you can't be with that person no more. You can't be connected to that person no more. They can't be in your life. It's different. It hits differently. And for a lot of y'all, I get the sense that, this could be your family. This could be your family situation, right? This could be, everything that has been familiar to you, that has been, something that has been of substance to you, something that you can just say, this is mine. This is somewhere I'm here. I belong. In your physical sense, right? But the thing about it is, the one thing that never changes, regardless of the title of the relationship, and I'll never stop saying this, is that if you are connected to someone or something that is not pushing you to be who God called you to be, that is not pushing you to be that starseed, that is not igniting that light and that fire within you, you're going to have to separate from it. And depending on where you are in your journey, you may have already went through these phases. You may be going through it now. This may be something that is foretelling for you that you will have to go through. And I will be lying to you if I did not say, again, reiterate, this is one of the hardest things that you would ever have to do. One of the hardest things that you would ever have to do. Because for a lot of us, one of the worst fears is having to be alone. In the physical sense, having to be alone. But alone in the physical sense is in good company in the spiritual sense. A lot of times you cannot connect to God. You cannot connect to the most high powers when you're constantly being influenced by people who are operating in darkness. If they are in your ear, 9 times out of 10, God ain't. So many times I told my people, I was like, yo, it seemed like y'all want me to be more loyal to y'all than y'all want me to be to God. It's okay for, when you come and say, well, God told me to do this and God told me to do that. But when I say it, if it don't fit within your realm of understanding, then you get to trying to talk me down, right? And this is why I say, a lot of times we have to really, really let the separation happen, because you ain't strong enough. I know you strong. And that's the thing. Like, as starseeds, y'all, we be so indestructible sometimes. Like, we be hella indestructible. but sometimes to a fault, because the situations that we subject ourselves to and the way that it works on us and pulls on us is not what we're meant to be dealing with. That's not where we're meant to be applying our strength. But unfortunately, that's where we find ourselves giving it to wrestling with these things and these people and trying to hold on. But that's not it. It's not it. Because any area of life, I always encourage people, choose the path of least resistance. We shouldn't have to force anything. We shouldn't have to wrestle with anything or anybody to get something done. Because everything that is ordered within our pathway, there's always a strategy that comes along with that. And think about it, when we talk about figuring it out versus a strategy has already like figured out half of the equation for you. You just got to add your part of it, which is you. Show up, be here, move, get away, connect to who you're supposed to be connected to. And from there, things begin to flow. We get the right connections. But everything else that we've learned in life, as far as, man, if I got to fight for my love, baby, what is we fighting for? Make it make sense to me. If I want to be here, you want to be here. Where does the fight come in? Like I'm missing something. But this learned behavior of just holding on, not wanting to come out of these cycles, right? Because again, I talked about this in the layman's term, but what this is a karmic cycle at the end of the day. And we go through it over and over and over and over and over again. And it gets harder and harder, because just like when you done fell off a treadmill and you stuck, and the more it just keeps rubbing this same spot, as it goes around and around and around, we cutting deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's just, eventually it does not work. Right? So I want you guys to know, taking it from a person who has spent a lot of time alone. I've been denied a lot of relationships in my life, a lot of connections that were important to me, simply because I would not do or be how a person wanted me to be. I've had to, release a lot of connections and relationships that were important to me, because certain people began to become envious of me and therefore turned against me, started working against me. And it has literally left me in a place to where it's just like, okay, me, God, we here. I'm here. And that's not to say that I don't have any friends, but my friends, they know that I'm on a very, very special mission. So they understand that even some things, some situations, they can't help me with. They can't bear that with me, because my situation is so different. But as y'all know, and the whole reason why I'm sitting here making this video right now, I'm committed to who I am. I'm committed to what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm committed to making sure that I stay on the path of my ordered steps, so that I can get what I need, so that I can have the relationships that I desire, so that I can be reconnected to those who are important to me. And not the people that I ain't supposed to be connected to. That's not what I'm saying. But there are other situations and things that are working itself out that cause of this reuniting, at a certain point. But had I still been in that same cycle back there, never would have saw these days. Never would have had these understandings. And I never would have realized just how imprisoned I was being tied to this karmic. So yeah, we had to be, again, born into these situations. We had to meet these people. We had to be connected to these people. We had to choose these people. Because some of these people, it was our choice, right? Let's be real about it. Some of these people we chose. It wasn't just family. It wasn't no blood type thing. These were people that we chose. But it was a karmic lesson and a karmic cycle nonetheless. And a lesson to be learned. So, once you learned what you needed to learn, baby, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. We have the High Priestess card here. This card has been coming out a lot in my readings as well, because a lot of my people are in this stage of realizing who you are. You're being initiated. Your karmic lessons has initiated you into this position of the High Priestess now. We have Nine of Swords in reverse. This is the confirmation of when you allow yourself to be this High Priestess, right? And you come out away from all these Nine Swords, all of this karmic mess, you get clarity in your mind. Nine of Swords upright is the card that talks about confusion, being up at night, just worried, you know. But no. And not only do you get, you know, like I was saying, when you let go of these swords right here, right? When you let go of these problems, these weights, you get a new beginning. You get an Ace of Swords, which sometimes it may just be you, right? This is that severing, that loneliness. You taking this one sword to disconnect from all of this. And now here you are. Here you are. We have the Two of Wands here with the Ten of Pentacles. And what this says to me, looking at the artwork with this is the Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian deck. You chose, right? Two of Wands talks about decision making. You chose to put your strength towards you, towards your journey. Right? And again, depending on where you are in your stage, maybe you haven't been faced with this. But this is a confirmation for you that when you are faced with this, or if you're in this situation now and you're having to make this choice, you got to choose this Ten of Pentacles for yourself. This lion is on the rock chilling. Money chilling down here. We got the earth in the background. Like there. And then the lion is strong. We're talking about the king of the jungle, right? This is you on your path doing your thing. This is you. And even for some of you, if there is a struggle or a battle as to like, okay, if I make this decision, then what's next? What happens next? Ten of Pentacles happens next. Rest assured that you will not make this decision in vain. And that's from Spirit. That's from God. This red cardinal that is here always reminds me of the ancestors or the loved ones who have passed on. There's always going to be somebody that is present to make sure that you win. But you have to make the decision to walk away from whoever is bringing you this Nine of Swords energy. For some of y'all, Swords deals with the air, the mind. Some of y'all been really, really in situations where you're dealing with mental abuse with people, or you were dealing with mental abuse. And this is why I stated that clarity is coming, right? As you become the high priestess, as you decide to walk into this energy of this royalty, you get clarity and understanding that you are this person, of who you are. And whatever has been done or said against you to dim your light from these envious people, from these hateful people who are your karmics, they no longer have power. Swords are upside down. Swords are cut off. Because of a choice that you're making. Nothing that you can do to them, nothing they're going to do. And I want you to understand that if you are looking for one glimpse of hope in this, there is none. You are the hope, honey. Like, and I want you to know that you are the lifeline to whatever these people are doing, good or bad. You are the hope. You are the source. So until you make the decision to even delivering some of these people out of their karmic cycles, right? Because these are people that you really love. And nobody wants to see the people they love self-destruct or anything just crazy to happen. You don't even want to leave them behind. But I promise you, sometimes just to do it is the best example. The best example you can give to a person who is a non-believer. They don't believe in who you are. They don't believe in, that God has a different mission for you. Whatever the case may be for you. You got to make a believer out of these people, not by staying in the same mess they in, but coming on up out of there. Coming on up out of there. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Knave, I guess this is called the Knave of Pentacles in this deck. Yeah, this is really giving me the energy that, unfortunately, there can be a lot of foul play around these karmic people. And the reason why I say that is because we have this Knave of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have the Devil card in reverse. And which is a good thing to see these cards in reverse for this type of reading. Because again, this is like letting me know that you have already made the decision to walk away from this. And now but it's letting me know that these were present in life, right? At one point in time, these cards were upright. But beyond the mask of the title that these people were wearing in your life, you saw the bigger picture. You understood that you were the kingpin. It's a lot of pentacles on the board right now. And maybe this was something, again, to where your money was being affected by this. You're meant to be in this Ten of Pentacles energy. This King of Pentacles energy. You're meant to have a lot of good things in life. But you can't have that and be connected to karmic people. Because karmic people are the type of people that will come. You can invite them to the party, your party. Everything on me. Just bring yourself and your smile and your personality. Come, hold, everything just be set up. And this person will come in to be mad about something, and they'll flip your table at your party and ruin it for everybody just because they mad. And that's why you couldn't have what you had when you was connected to these people. Some of y'all gonna notice as well. As you begin to make the decisions to let go of these people, stuff gonna start flowing in your life a little differently. It sure is. You got the Six of Wands here. People are truly going to begin to see you for who you are. Because you have now the room and the space to be that person, because you're not connected to this devil no more. Right? Look, another Pentacles card. You have the Four of Pentacles here. You're stable. and stable money-wise, but also stable in your mind. Ain't nobody playing with your mind no more. Ain't nobody putting you through this mental abuse. You stable in your emotions. You ain't around here constantly trying to sweep up behind folks and clean and put out fires because everybody around you just want to be a ticking time bomb because they know you can handle it as an empathic starseed. Ain't no more of that. No more of that. And there's 3 people in this car. So it's like, this is really giving me the vibe of, you know, for some of you who are really worried, they're like, okay, I'm not going to have nobody. If I cut this person off, they just leave me. And I know that could be your biggest fear sometimes. But honey, no. They coming right on back in. And to the right people coming to replace in those spaces where the wrong ones was holding it up. But how do we get this? Again, you got to make a decision. You have to. You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. And for some of you, I have the Magician that's here in reverse. Again, I just get the energy that, you know, people was really, they was trying you. The magician might be the musician in your life. the magician and the 7 of Swords here again. And whether this was somebody who was, you know, trying to manifest your downfall, manifest things against you, or this was somebody who was literally just in the way of you manifesting what you desired in life. They gotta go. They gotta go. Let's get a couple of clarity cards very quickly. Can I get a clarity card for the Knave of Pentacles in reverse? Why is this Knave, Page of Pentacles in reverse? Yeah. This is definitely like the Queen of Wands came out sideways across the Page of Pentacles and the Death card. My intuition is really telling me that this was a person. This was somebody in your life, whether this was an actual female, whether this was a mother figure for some of you guys, but there was definitely some, how do I say it? Some sneaky, underhanded business that was going on. Because even in this deck, like the Page of Pentacles, you see how there is a woman that is waving this little wand over this pentacle. And when I saw it, my intuition was like spell work. Like there's some, you know, people working against you, playing with your mind, playing with your emotions, doing something to try to, you know, get to your energy. Or even doing something to keep you in these karmic cycles with them. But you had to come on out of there, baby. You had to come on out of there. I see the 6 of Pentacles is here. Give me... Hold on. Even though this wasn't one of the original cards, give me a clarity card for the 6 of Pentacles, please. Yeah, okay. So the 6 of Pentacles came out with the Queen of Wands when I asked for clarity for this Page of Wands. And I was wondering if the 6 of Pentacles meant something else. But no, this is kind of like... This is the universe kind of letting you know that for whatever it has been done by this Queen of Wands with this Devil and this Page of... I'm sorry, the Page of Pentacles energy. It's being taken care of. We have the Three of Wands in the reverse, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the Moon in reverse. And this to me is like a little justice is being served type card. And I like when I tell y'all, I be wanting to get away from this energy, but in all my readings, it's just been showing up that, you know, there's just been shiesty business that's been going on under the moonlight. And God ain't having it no more. God ain't having it no more. Like I said in one of my other readings, a lot of reasons why, you know, beyond just you getting to where you need to be on your individual journey, a lot of the reason why you had to disconnect from these people is because of what they were doing to you and what's about to happen to them because of what they were doing to you, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, it's time for the great severing for sure. Let's get one more clarity. Why is the Seven of Swords here? Seven of Swords. Clarity card. Okay. So in my the reading I did the other day, we were talking about how there was a lover. Seven of Swords came out. There was a lover that was on the way. And look what came to clarify. The Seven of Swords today. The Fool card, which was another card that came out on the last reading with this. Six of Pentacles again. And the Lovers. So even with this card coming out with the Magician in reverse, some people may have been trying to keep this love away from you, to keep this person away from you. They may have been doing things to, you know, just wish. For some of y'all, my man especially, your karmic partner, your karmic issue is your mama. And I'm sorry to tell you that the queens have not done what they needed to do to balance themselves to be the upright, just, beautiful Queen of Wands. But for some of y'all, and you gonna resonate with this if you know I'm telling you the truth, y'all mamas hate to see y'all happy in a relationship with anybody. And all of a sudden, every time you end up in one, you know, they sick. They need this. It's a problem. They always calling your phone. And you notice the pattern, but in your mind, again, with this mental manipulation, you're thinking, oh, that's my mama. I got to do it because my mama. Because, no, sir. No, sir. You do not allow that karma to keep you from taking this leap of faith towards whoever it is that you know that you desire and you want. And to a person who more than likely desires you as well. You gotta cut it off. Because she's working against all of this love and everything, this good stuff that you're trying to manifest in your life. She's working against it. I'm sorry to be the one to say it. It's the truth. Okay. Let's pull a couple of channel messages. See if anything wants to come out. Yeah, y'all. It's time for the great severing. And I know it's scary, but you gotta do it. You gotta, and really, you don't even have to do it. You really just gotta let it happen. You ready? Universe, like, I'm ready if you are. You gotta let it happen. You gotta let it happen. And I know it's gonna feel like a whole tower moment. It's gonna feel like the earth is just shifting beneath your feet. You're gonna feel weak in the knees. You might have a whole attitude. But you also gonna have a new life. And I want you to know that the things that you have been praying for, your orders are being filled. They're being granted. They're being brought to you. But are you ready? And a sure sign to show that you are completely ready is to allow the great severing to happen in your life. So I want you to know, hear me out. You're not doing anything wrong when this situation begins to present itself, right? If you ain't came to this yet, don't feel like, oh my God, like everything is just, it is, but for a good reason. And if you are a person that understands that you are a starseed, right? Whether you willingly just identify with it, you claim it, you know what's up, or you in the process of trying to just see what's happening, like you know you different, whatever, wherever you are, just know that it's going to happen for you. There is going to, you may have more than one, but at least one great severing that's going to happen to completely disconnect you from your old way of thinking and living and being. And a lot of times it's going to be something that happens within a relationship or a connection, because again, once we're with people, we're connecting to their energy, we're manifesting. And when you're with somebody who ain't thinking like you, ain't moving like you, ain't working for the same God that you working for, ain't but so much y'all can manifest together that's good. So I speak peace and grace to you as you make these decisions, as you continue to choose you, as you continue to choose who God created you to be versus who everybody else thinks you should be. I speak the same courage of this great lion over your life as you walk forward on your ordered path. You're going to be great. You're going to initiate into this royal high priest space in your life, as long as you allow the great severing to happen. Okay? So hopefully I said something today that was helpful to you. If you need support, help, if you need conversation, if you need for somebody to just make something make sense in your life right quick, hit me up. I'm here. Okay? Have a great day.